really want to speak to you all on the fact that they're talking about this right here. Taco Charlton, he's gone. Now, I have to say this. When we talking about this all together collectively, when we start talking about the Dallas Cowboys issues as it relates to drafting, this got to be a major issue to me because we drafted a guy because of team need. And when you draft a guy for team needs opposed to best player available, this is what you get, Cowboy Nation. This is exactly what you get. We couldn't get rid of Taco for free. We couldn't get rid of him for a bag of nickels. We had to end up releasing him because nobody was willing to say, hey, I'm willing to take on this talent. And we've been trying to groom him, develop him. We've been trying to do all of those things from A to Z. And this speaks volumes of the coaching staff and the drafting department of picking up somebody that they just released just straight out. First round draft pick, didn't get time to develop him, didn't get time to trust in what he can do out there on the field. That speaks volumes to me personally. I look at it like, yeah, JB says absolute bust at this point. You mean to tell me you couldn't get a 6th round draft pick for him, a 5th round draft pick for him, that teams are willing to say, hey, you're going to cut him regardless. I would rather for him to go out to the waivers and then see what we can pick up from there because he's not worth the grain of salt. That's crazy. Speaks volumes of your decision making as it relates to drafting. Now, we hit on a lot of players. I'm not saying that collectively we are horrible at drafting, but in this Taco situation was a major setback. Can you imagine of the players that we could have got out of that draft? Man, I can start going down the list. But to be accurate, I'm going to wait. But still, that's why you always draft best available, best player available. BPA, you do not draft needs. Now, you can start looking at needs after the 3rd and 4th round draft pick. But in those crucial draft picks, the 1st and the 2nd round, maybe the 3rd, you do BPA, best player available. And we are seeing and we are hearing the same talks tracks between Tristan Hill. Hey, if Tristan Hill is worth the grain of salt, regardless of how you look at it, you want to develop him. You want to get him some playing time out there. That's just the reality of it. And that's what we really got to look at, Cowboy Nation. Can't believe the pick just turned over. Yeah, it's crazy, man, because it just speaks volumes. And anybody that watch football, that understands and knows football, when you start talking about T.J. Watt, it's not T.J. is his name, T.J. Watt, right? T.J. Watt, right? They say, okay, he's an outside linebacker. He's a 3-4 linebacker. Well, if I'm paying you millions of dollars to coach this team, regardless he's outside, inside, whatever he is, if he's better than the next guy beside him, you pick the guy that's better. That's just the reality of it. T.J. Watt would have been more productive in this particular Dallas Cowboys scheme or system than a Taco Charlton. That's just the bottom line. And I think that Will McClay, he said Will McClay missed this one. Oh, buddy. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Well, number 97 is available. Any players that want to wear number 97, they can, right? And that's why I say best player available. If he's the best player on your draft board, you go out there and you grab him. You don't play around with it. You grab him. And the reality of it is that you can't pander in your picks. You can't be window dressing your picks. You can't be politicking your pick. You go out there and you get the best player that's available. No more taco systems now. Yeah. TJ would have been better. And nobody can say he would. Look, this is the craziest thing. Let's say, for example, you did get TJ Watt on this particular team. So you mean to tell me Rob Marinelli won't be able to coach him up? You mean to tell me that he's just going to be a waste of talent on this team? You can say that he got all of the talent in the world, but he just can't fit this team? Come on now. Coach is coach. And then on top of that, When you were in high school, you don't have those choices of drafting, right? You just figure out where to plug a guy. When you in college, sometimes you don't have that choices of saying, okay, I want to be able to have this particular guy. No, you get the best player out there and you put him out there on the field. Same philosophy with this. I think sometimes, I'm not talking about our Cowboys, but sometimes collectively, we over-evaluate and we underestimate talent, and we'll sit there and say, well, he's not a scheme fit. And we're seeing the same problems and the same situation with Anthony Brown versus a Jordan Lewis. Like, everybody out there that got eyes can see that Jordan Lewis is better than Anthony Brown. Every day, even twice on Sunday. You know, we see it. We looking at it like, come on, Anthony Brown, come on. But we know that Jordan Lewis, he built for the big moment. He built for the bigger stage. He can play on every level as it relates to football knowledge and things like that. But no, we want to have Anthony Brown. That's stuff that we look at and we will say to ourselves, man, it's foolish stuff. It's foolishness, man. So we caved in and Taco is gone. My thing is, Cowboy Nation, the way we got to look at it now is how in the world can we move from this area to the next area? Because we do know, and let me just paint this picture for you. Defensive front four is nasty, still nasty. I know we don't have an amount of sacks that we want to have, but Robert Quinn is on a 1-year rental. You see, you know, JR, shout out to you. Robert Quinn is on a 1-year rental. That meaning that we got to sign him. Randy Gregory had multiple chances, but we don't know what he looks like, right? And we still got him on the team. So we still got issues as it relates to this defensive front. Dorrance Armstrong, we love what he's able to do, but he can't find ways to get to the quarterback these first 2 games. So if nobody have reservations on that side as far as it relates to edge rushing ability, then think again. So a lot of things can change from week 3 to beyond. But what I'm saying is that we really have to horn in on some things, because what I'm looking at collectively is that you held on to an asset or you held on to a product so long that it became undervalued or non-value that existed. And then he was not able to be traded. And now you just lose out on the deal. You lose out for that. Because think about it. I'm thinking like multiple ways. I'm looking at it like this perspective. I'm looking at it like this. All training camp. That could have been somebody else rep. That could have been somebody else developing. You see, that's how I'm looking at it. You know, that could have been a Jalen Jex with more reps. Who knows what he can become? That could have been more reps with the Joseph, was it Joe Jackson? It could have been more reps for him. You know, it could have been more reps for Daniel Wise. You see, it could have been more reps for Kerry Hyder. So there's so many volumes of where you can look at it. And now that you had Taco out there and you know that you wasn't 100% balled in on Taco, you should have traded him before the training camp began. Or you should have worked some deal out. There would have been a team desperate enough to say, okay, I got a little feeling on Taco. He was high on our board, but we would like to see him in training camp first. Wouldn't it have been wise to get something like a 4th round or 5th round or 6th round draft pick if you knew for sure that he wasn't the guy that you knew that you wanted on your team? So all you had to do was just trade him then. That's all I'm saying. You could have developed somebody else. More reps for somebody else equals more talent out on the field, more knowledge of the game out there on the field. That's how I'm looking at it. Taco's a shell of himself. But we pander around, man. We pandering around. Appreciate you, Joseph, man. Thank you. Patriots would have traded long ago. Yeah. Patriots figure out ways. They said, okay, Chandler Jones. Look, Patriots traded Chandler Jones away. Chandler Jones there's no other player that got more sacks than Chandler Jones in the last 4 years, right? And it just smooth transaction. It wasn't no up and down, and it wasn't no, oh, we should get this, we should get that. Smooth transaction. No distraction. Patriots trade away Collins, I believe. I think his name is Jamie Collins or somebody like that. If either of those 2 guys played for the Dallas Cowboys, we be probably trying to build statues for them right now in front of the Star in Frisco, because we don't know how to really look at players, and even we don't know how to look at the good players and let them go. We don't know how to leverage the average players to get more good players and let them go. Now, we're a beast. We are a beast. I'm going to say again, we are a beast at drafting. We are a beast at drafting. You're not going to hit on all of them. But what I'm saying is we are terrible as it relates to trading. Now, Amari Cooper can change this thing all around. Of course, he did it last year. But outside of that, I'll wait on a trade acquisition that worked out wonderfully for us. And we can really have our reservations on Robert Quinn. And I ain't talking about a trade like a 7 or 8 round draft pick trade and the guy made some formidable play. I'm talking about a dynamic impact type of trade, multiple draft pick type of trade. Devin Smith is another Terry Glenn. Yeah. He is. So it's like good news, bad news. It's like good news, the fact that we don't have to hear about, oh, this is a soft taco, supreme taco, and crunchy taco, and taco supreme, and all those things. We don't have to hear that no more. That's a good thing. It's a good thing, right? But the bad thing is now we have to look at it like, man, that was a first round draft pick that we let waltz right on out of here. What's up, Kerry? What's good? It sucks we couldn't get something from him. Could have got something. Yes, D. Yeah, D. We could have got something. I'm greedy. Y'all know I'm greedy. Jalen Ramsey isn't a dilemma. You got me. Yeah. What's up? So Taco Bell, Taco Charlton. Taco Bell go hard. Jalen would disrupt the locker room. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We got some opportunities to look at Donovan Wilson. We have to have some faith and hope and confidence in your boy Jeff Heath. We got to have that. We got to understand too that this team is still one of the youngest team in the NFL. I just hope that Robert Quinn panned out for us. Now, I believe deep down in my heart that Robert Quinn is good against the run. He got a bend. He can get to the quarterback. But I don't know what type of shape he's going to be in, right? So it's like, hey, we're going to sit back and watch this thing play out. That's all we can do is just watch it play out. Why in the fudge we aren't rolling with Donovan Wilson? That's a good question. Look, Donovan Wilson is not from Boise State, right? And Darian Thompson is. So they got to at least give him a shot. They got to at least give him an opportunity because he's from Boise State. This is me comically saying this, give you guys some comical relief at this thing. All I can say is that if this front four and then the linebackers, if they can wreak havoc against the Miami Dolphins, we wouldn't have to worry about the safety play. We wouldn't have to worry about Jeff Heath, Kevon Frazier, and Darian Thompson, and sliding in occasionally the Donovan Wilson kid. We wouldn't have to worry about that. But in the worlds of worlds, if we serious about moving and making it deep into the playoff and making it deep run to the Super Bowl, you better make sure you shore up that secondary as it relates to safety play. Because in a cover 2 scheme, that's what we primarily cover 2 scheme. Your safety's got to have range. They got to be able to field, especially when you roll over to the single high safety look. That safety controls, is like the centerpiece of the chessboard or whatever you want to look at it. He is that main piece that controls whether or not they get gashed in the middle or what have you, because we're so light and we spread it out as it relates to the linebackers, or if the mic is isolated and he's already engaged, we need somebody to come down and field. Go back and look at the film session that I did on Xavier Woods. It would have been a shootout against the first game if Xavier Woods didn't come down and field. It would have been a shootout. It would have been multiple big plays down the field from Saquon Barkley. He had a good game. It could have been even worse if number 25 didn't come down and field. If he was lackluster on his tackling. Oh, Law, you got any proof on that? Oh, yeah, I do. Go back and look at any of the games when the Giants played us back in the days when we had a suspect safety. Eli knew how to get that ball out to the edges. He knew how to attack this cover two defense. He played against most of his career. Where is Dontario Poe these days? All right, so we got to remove the thoughts of getting a trash can full of dirt type of guy that's going to sit in the middle. That is not Rob Marinelli's scheme. He want these finessed three-tech guys that can shoot the gap. It's a one-gap system. They can shoot the gap. And although we do some twist stunts, we rarely do it. It's individual battle on that front four. And he wants you all, we got the double A gaps. He wants you to shoot those double A's. And if you're on the B side, then of course, occasionally you put your hands on the inside. But outside of that, he wants you to just shoot the gaps. This is Papa Rob Marinelli's system. And your linebackers fill those holes once they shoot. That's how he goes. That's how he plays, especially when they are in the base formation. No, we won't get no big burly guy that's going to occupy two guys that's in the inside. We're not going to get that. Shout out to Prayer Squad. Shout out to you all. Yeah, let me know how y'all feel about Taco being gone, though. Let me know who you guys feel going to be a good fit for Taco since he wasn't a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys. That safety from the Jets. NFL would not allow that to happen. Come on now. Jamal Adams is not going to the Dallas Cowboys. We would love to see that happen. He's not going to come to us. No, this is not going to happen. And even the Jalen Ramsey situation, it's not going to happen. I know we would love to see those things happen, but it's not going to happen. We don't win on trades like that unless we give away some major cash. And I don't see that happening. How would the NFL stop that? Just like the NBA stopped Kobe. I mean, Chris Paul was trying to go to the Lakers, and they were sitting there like, hey, no, this is not going to happen. No, we don't want this to happen in our sport. And it's going to be something similar. There's a team out there that will be willing to fork over a lot of draft picks before they let Jerry Jones win. These owners, they go around smiling. But remember, this is a competition beyond competition. They go around smiling on NFL Network, but they go and talk to each other and say, man, we can't stand Jerry Jones. These owners, we love Jerry Jones, but these other owners don't love him. They really hate him. It's really the truth. They only keep him around because they know that he's innovative and he's a pillar of the NFL community. But if it was up to them, they would have been like, look, get this guy up out of here. This maverick. He's a maverick. He's a maverick of an owner, Let's get him out of here. He's changing up everything. And Jerry Jones, I got to talk this conspiracy talk to y'all while I've got y'all here. Jerry Jones, when he sued the NFL in 1996 for individual rights to be able to have your own side endorsements. Think about this. Before 1996, I think the lawsuit started in 1995. Ironically, we won the Super Bowl that year. We won. Cowboy Nation, we won. Or Jerry Jones, he won the individual, look it up, Google it, the Nike apparel. Before then, there wasn't Nike apparel. You either had Starter, you had your Reeboks, you had your Rydales of the world. So when you see when you see a Dolphins or you see an Eagles or you see a Redskin guy or a Giants fan with a Nike apparel on their uniform or with their Nike hat, just tell them, thank you, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones won that deal. And when you see all of these mega stadiums being built, and Jerry Jones have the mindset and the wherewithal to not have it spent from his own cash, but spend it from the populations of the people that's in that surrounding city or in that city. That's Jerry Jones thinking. That's innovative. Look, I'm not going to fork over the money to build this stadium. I'm going to let the taxpayers build this stadium. That's Jerry. And also, we're going to have the endorsements of Pepsi. Look, people know that live here locally in Dallas. They know the real deal. If you don't, if you think I'm lying, tell them how much taxes they paid this past year. We are running out of DT, start T, heal. You got to start him now. You got to make him active. If you don't make him active, and you mean to tell me you spend valuable resources on a defensive tackle, and he's not starting for at least the first or the second or the third game, then you are saying to yourself, you might as well put him on the trading blocks. I know that you say to yourself, man, we drafted this guy for depth purposes for next year, but we don't have that type of luxury. We need safeties right now. That could have been a Warren Thornhill out there. That could have been a Nazir Adderley or whoever. You could have been somebody else. You could have moved up and got a Darnell Savage, one of those boys, as it relates to safety play. Any words on Randy? From last I heard that he didn't fill out his paperwork. If anybody is a good legal paralegal or what have you, or legal assistance, help Randy Gregory. Call Jerry Jones and say you'll fill out the paperwork for him. Chris Richard wanted a Thornhill. This is Marcelo B. Yeah, he wanted Thornhill, but he looked at the greater cause and the greater need of the team, and he said, hey, we need defensive tackle. Let's go ahead and get that. I'm hedging my bet. We're going to need defensive tackle. Let's go ahead and get the defensive tackle guy. Antoine Woods is day to day. All I can say is with Antoine Barbecue Woods, just slowly let him move this thing in. And he might get Wally Pip. That's the only thing. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. He's a cool, calm, and collective guy. Shout out to him from Compton and those areas and everything, all the way from the west side. But with him, he might get Wally Pip because that Christian Covington, that boy is a huge guy. Number 95 is big. Street tacos, yeah. They couldn't give him away for free. Shout out to you, South of Heaven. Y'all follow his page as well. Let's trade our 32nd pick for JY. Yeah, that would be crazy. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't sign anybody. What's up, Love and Aries? We didn't sign anybody. We brought in a wide receiver for workout. We brought in, I think, we brought in 2 wide receivers for workouts. And, of course, we brought in the safety, Josh Jones. So we haven't heard anything from those 3 guys as of now. And the news been very quiet lately. So it's just what it is. Free agent safeties, not very slim this year. Good new video up. Okay, shout out to you, South of Heaven. Gregory been rolling his own paper. All right, man, I'm gonna get on out of here. I got to get back to work, but I just want to be able to put this out there to the universe. I really appreciate you all. I don't think Dez Bryant's coming back, for the simple fact, if you thought you retired, you think you need to retire, you retire. And he put out there that, hey, he didn't want to play football ever again. He got other things that he's working on, and now all of a sudden he's working on football. So I don't know. You know, it's the mindset of going back and forward, I don't know. But hopefully he can find a way and find himself to play on somebody's football field. But I don't think the way he left would be cultural friendly for this particular organization. Just the way he left. So that's why I tell everybody that's young, that got jobs and stuff, just be mindful of how you leave. You know, don't call nobody snakes. Don't be mad at this person and using negative reinforcement on that person and these sorts of things. You got you a new job, you chill and say, hey, I'm gonna put my 2 weeks notice in, and I'm gonna let the world know, you know, then from there. But don't do it on your way out, because you never know when you have to go back to that job. You know, it's just words of experience from me. And of course, we need to have the philosophy. Okay, I got to give you guys one philosophy as it relates to just positive reinforcement in words. There's a saying, when you look at certain players, and if it's on the table for a Jamal Adams, if it's really on the table, And if it's really on the table for even a Jalen Ramsey, and if you really want to win the Super Bowl, President Lincoln once said, I would rather have them inside the tent pissing out than outside the tent pissing in. So let that sink into your mental. Let that sink in. So just think about that. I would rather, have them inside of my organization than outside, especially as it relates to the NFC East. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's go. Salute. I'm out. Peace.